Hey guys, welcome to my video. Today I am going to be doing a 6-month update on my Eufy G30 Robovac, and I'm just going to be talking about some pros and cons I've encountered in the first 6 months of owning it. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and jump right into it. One of the first pros I want to mention is the battery life. For the price point of $125, I do think the battery is okay. It's not perfect, and it does have room for improvement, but the battery is good enough for me. Now, I don't typically vacuum my entire house at once. I usually move it from room to room, and between each room, it sits on the charger for a while I pick up stuff in the other room, getting it ready to be vacuumed by the Eufy. So it has some time to charge in between, but my downstairs is about 700 square feet. It's a relatively small house, and it can do most of that in one charge. Another pro is that I love using this vacuum for my entryway. My entryway is always absolutely disgusting because my husband is a handyman and he gets very dirty at his jobs, and this is where he comes into the house. So that door right there leads to a downstairs basement area, and in the basement area there's a door outside, so he comes in through there. So this area was always disgusting before I had the Eufy, and now I can keep up with it because of the Eufy. So that's a major pro, and it's definitely my favorite room to use the vacuum in. Another pro is going to be the price point. Obviously, $125 is a really good price point for a robot that will vacuum your floor without you doing anything. So I did want to mention that as a pro as well. By the way, sorry if you guys hear my little girl in the background. She is playing in the other room, and it's so hard to make a video without that noise in the background, so don't mind her. The next pro I want to mention is that the vacuum changes power level depending on what surface is on. So if it's on carpet, it uses a higher power. Alexa, tell Robovac to start cleaning.
Start cleaning.
Alexa, tell Robovac to stop cleaning.
Pause it.
Alexa, tell Robovac to go home.
Heading home.
Using Alexa is definitely a pro. This is something I wasn't able to do when I bought the vac, and now I am able to use that feature, and I really have grown to love it. So now I'm going to start talking to you guys about some of the cons and some of the things that I dislike about the vacuum. It's very difficult for the vacuum to get around chairs, like if you're vacuuming in the kitchen, maybe under a table. It takes a really long time, I've noticed. It will do it sometimes, but then there's other times I've noticed where the vacuum will get stuck and it just says it's done cleaning without having cleaned under the table at all, because the chairs make it so complicated, I guess, and it just doesn't understand that. And the problem with that is when I vacuum under the table myself, it only takes me like 2 minutes, and if I just move the chairs myself. So that's a little frustrating, and I almost always just end up using my handheld vacuum instead of using my Eufy for the kitchen. Another con is sometimes it gets lost in the table, like under the table and under the chairs, and when I've asked it to go back to its charging station, it gets really confused under there, and for some weird reason it can't make it back to the charging station a lot. So it will just stop what it's doing, and then it'll say it'll go back to the starting point, and I wasn't aware that it wasn't charging. So that can be a bummer sometimes, because if I want to go clean another room, I realize that it's not charged. Cat toys being on the floor is a constant issue in our household. and it's not one that's gonna stop anytime soon because I love my kitty cat and she loves to play, and these things really do clog up the Eufy vac, and it will make the Eufy vac stop vacuuming. The last con that I'm gonna mention is the fact that I have to move everything in order to get a room ready to be vacuumed by the Eufy. Sometimes this really gets on my nerves and I get tired of moving a bunch of items, because if I don't move certain items, then the vacuum can't just easily vacuum under things like my handheld vacuum can. So this is definitely a con. I forgot to mention earlier that cleaning hasn't really changed much for me. Everything is actually really easy to clean. It's not that hard to keep up with, so I wouldn't say that there are any cons in this department. Like I said, it's just easy to do. All you have to do is make sure you get all the hair off of everything and that you clean your filter out. And I don't wash my filter out every single time. I simply just kind of beat it on the side of the trash can a little bit just to get the excess dirt off of it. And that always seems to be good enough. And then about every 3 or 4 times I run the vacuum, that is when I actually rinse the filter off and let it dry. But as you can see, I just get everything off the roller brush, and it's really easy to replace. In this part, I'm going to tell you guys what each piece is called. This piece is called the side brush. This one is the roller brush. And then inside the dirt cup is where the filter is. And the reason I've made this part of the video is so I can explain how much it costs to replace each part and how often the instructions say that you should replace each part, so that if you're thinking about getting this vacuum, you'll know how much maintenance is going to cost you. So right here it says that you should replace the filter after every 50 rounds of cleaning your house, that you should replace the side brush after every 3 to 6 months or when visibly worn, and the rolling brush every 6 to 12 months. So I'm going to now show you guys how much each of those things cost. Next, I went on Amazon to try to see if I could find some replacement parts, and I did. 6 side brushes for only $8.99, which I felt like was a pretty good price. And then I found 2 roller brushes, and for 2 of those it was only $9.99. And then I found 6 filters for only $16.99, so I felt like that was a pretty good price. Thank you guys for taking the time to watch my video today, and I just want to know some of your guys' thoughts and comments about this Eufy vacuum. Maybe you guys have an opinion on it, or you can share some of your experiences. All in all, I'd take a star off what I originally rated this vacuum. I would say when I got it, I rated it about a 4.5, and now it's probably about a 3.5 because I really don't use it as much as I thought I was going to. Sometimes stuff that I think is going to make my life a lot easier actually really doesn't, and I feel like that was the case with this vacuum. Once again, I want to thank you guys. Please like and subscribe if you can, and I'll see you guys in the next one.